Kalo na janati tava jananam. Kalo na janati tava samapanam. Drushto maya tava mahakaraha yogeshvara kala kala. Yogeshvara kala kala. Good evening, everybody. Namaskaram and good evening. Please.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very excited to meet you here in Brussels. So we've just heard about your amazing story, travel. 22 days already you've been traveling through our continent, and you've seen very different parts of our region already. So maybe to start with, can you tell us one encounter, one impression that you had, seeing our region, all the different landscapes, the different ways people have been working with soil, different traditions, but also a continent which has been profoundly transformed in the last 50, 60 years by urban development, infrastructure development, intensive agriculture. So is there something that has struck you, something that has been a strong impression?
Namaskaram, good evening to everyone. See, agriculture is not new to Europe. Particularly in southern Europe, agriculture has been a very active part of it, like countries like Italy, very much strong agricultural nations. What has happened is, after World War II, this post-World War II anxiety of wanting to meet the food requirement for the people, where there was a real issue, a genuine issue out there. So these emergency measures that they took to cross that moment, unfortunately, we did not see it as a bridge to cross over and then get back to normal. We stayed on the bridge for too long. The same emergency measures continued. Agricultural policies and agricultural tradition itself completely transformed itself into an emergency mode. See, in our lives, when there is an emergency, we may do certain things to ward off that particular danger that we have. We cannot be in that mode for always. That is the mistake that's happened when I really see it.
So, well, as we've heard it, also here in Europe, we are facing soil degradation at a very large scale, at a worrying pace. Urban development, infrastructure development, sealing of soils is increasing. Agricultural intensification is making our soils more prone to erosion. Chemical pesticides use has not been going down despite all of our knowledge and development of pesticides that require less, smaller doses. We have millions of contaminated sites around our region, and several European countries already suffer now from desertification. A few months ago, last November, the European Commission for the European Union presented a new soil strategy, and we now have a political target that by 2050 we want to restore the health of our soils. What do you think, what is the role that agriculture needs to play? What is the role for agroecological farming and forestry practices to restore our soils and to provide us with healthy and nutritious food?
See, when it comes to urban infrastructure, just now I was coming to this auditorium, our GPS led us somewhere else, to a totally different place. And then we were trying to race here somehow and get here on time. What I see is this is the fact in most cities in the world, not just in Europe. Both sides of the traffic are busy. both sides of the road. What does this mean? People who live here, work there, people who live there, work here. What's wrong with us? We just like to be on the road, it looks like that. For fun, if you're on the road, there must be another road where we can go and have fun. But right now, people are going to work, neither are they enjoying their drive. Unnecessarily, they're spending so much of their productive time on the street in every city in the world. But you will see both sides of the traffic. Busy means something wrong, the way we're designing our cities. Well, a large part of the city might have happened long time ago, we might not have much choice about that, but at least the newer part of the city, are we looking like that? We are not. Generally in the world, nobody is looking at that. So we build unnecessary infrastructure. Infrastructure is very needed, but how much infrastructure, for what purpose, is something we could look at. About industrial scale of agriculture, as I said, that scale of agriculture was needed because at that time there were famine situations in the world. This happened everywhere in the world, not just in Europe. I'm not very certain about the date, probably it was 2012, if I'm right. In 2012, we produced enough food for 18 billion people. We did not have 18 billion people, nor do we still have, fortunately. We still don't have 18 billion people, I hope we won't go there. But we produced food for 18 billion people. Still nearly 2 billion people were hungry. So where is this going? So from the store to the stove, from the stove to the plate, from the plate to the stomach, there is a huge loss. I do not know the statistics in Europe. In United States, they say only 1/3 of the food that comes on the plate goes to the stomach, rest goes somewhere. So this lack of regard for that which makes our life is a serious issue. But a time has come now that trying to transform the people large scale and then fixing the problem, we are not in such times. We need to fix the problem whether people transform themselves or not. We must fix the problem with the right kind of policy. When I look at the policy, I'm not an expert on this, you should know more about this than me. But what I see is, we are making too complex a policy, which is very hard to implement. See, among the various conventions that have happened in the world regarding environment and other things, the only convention which we successfully completed is the ozone hole fixing convention. We were successful because it was a one-point agenda. We need to do the same with soil. Too many things are involved. Right now you spoke about pesticide, fertilizer, this, that. All that is a genuine problem, I'm not saying no, they're significant problems. But the most important problem is the soil is dying. Soil is dying, definitely pesticide, fertilizer, weedicide, herbicide, all these sides are enhancing the speed of destruction. But the most important thing is there is no organic material. Why there is no organic material? Because there are only two sources of organic material, plant life and animal life. Plant life went out of it because of our wanting to produce more, we removed all the trees and other plants from the farms. And animal life went out of it because of the machines. Machines came, it became easier to work, so we pulled out the animals. So where is the organic content? Organic content means food for the microbes. Microbes means they are the source of our life. It's because of them that we are here. Even in terms of evolutionary terms, it is important, it's not only today's ecology, in terms of evolutionary terms, it is only because of them we have happened. That complex life system, most important thing that needs to happen is, in the last 2 years I've been shocked to see in most nations in the world, soil is being still addressed as an inert substance that you can fix by adding a chemical or removing a chemical. Soil is the largest living system, not just on this planet, in the known universe, it is the largest living system with zillions of life forms, millions of species, which are being lost at the rate of approximately 27,000 species per year. So, the most important thing is first keep the soil alive. Other problems, please address it, I'm not saying no, but first keep it alive. I'm saying, I'm a human being. So one doctor may say my liver is not okay, another may say my kidney is not okay, another may say my brain is definitely not okay, otherwise why would I take this job? So, all this is fine. You can address all my liver, kidney, brain because I'm alive. If I'm dead, which one will you attend to, I'm asking, and what does it matter? That's called as, postmortem stuff. That's of no use. So, right now, keeping the soil alive is the most expressed need. People like you are under whom many organizations are there. If the focus shifts to soil, after that, I'm not saying give up the other things. Other things are equally important. But first thing is to keep it alive. When I say keep it alive, see in Northern Europe, which is a temperate climate, here you have 1.48% organic content. This is dangerous. In Southern Europe, you have 1.1%. In Africa, on an average, you have 0.3%. In India, on an average, you have 0.68%. In United States and North America, you have approximately 1.25 to 1.3%. This is a dangerous level because we are heading towards desertification. In the last 25 years, 10% of the earth's land has turned into a desert. 10% in 25 years. Where are we going?
Well, you've already mentioned the question of kind of food security and how kind of the fear not to have enough food has driven very fundamental changes in the way we've been producing food. You've mentioned the fact that we are producing more food than we need, and we have more people who are actually overfed, but still having millions that go hungry. So, well, I wasn't particularly looking at you. But, well, obviously there's an imbalance in the system. So when we kind of, promote more agroecological practices, what we often hear from the, say, food and agricultural lobby, the intensive agriculture, is that, well, if you change agroecological practices, you will lower productivity, you will have less income. Now, research has shown that this is not necessarily the case, and we came across some recent research from your home country in India, from Andhra Pradesh, where we understand a quite large share of the agricultural production is under agroecological practices, and where research has shown that once you transition from, let's say, conventional or intensive